Invoicing and payments. I believe this is a very sore point for a lot of speakers. And I kind of don't understand it because we do work for the $1 million, €1 million speakers out there, work for the big 500 blue chip companies out there. Where does the problem lie? So they have a policy of 30 or 60 or 90 days payments. How does that affect you? You are supposed to be the guru, the successful consultant, advisor to these people, yet you put up with the corporate bullshit which you are supposed to be getting them out of. This doesn't make sense to me. I read the forums on LinkedIn, or I don't, I get them automatically into my inbox. At speaker conventions, I see the discussions and the passage discourses over all these issues and complaints about non-payment. And I'm going, what are you people smoking? In one way, you want to tell me you are the successful guru, high-powered speaker, and in another way, you're not getting paid. 2 and 2 does not make 4. It fascinates me that these problems actually exist. If you are this successful, high-powered person, this should not exist at all. First of all, the client phones me for a booking. These are my conditions. I want this, 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 and this. Since when do they allocate or tell me how I will do the payment system for them? This doesn't make sense. I don't care whether you're a government institution. I don't care whether you're the biggest company in the country. You phoned me. You want my services. If you go to the theater or to the cinema, can you walk in there and say, well, we'll only pay you in 60 days? Absolute nonsense. No ways. If you go anywhere, you pay up front. At worst, in a restaurant, when you finish eating, you pay now. There are no credit terms and paying over this time, and it just doesn't happen. I always correlate our industry with that of the theater and the cinema. I always say to the client, excuse me, what are you on? You don't pay after you've seen a theater production or after you've seen a movie. You pay up front. Which part of that don't you understand? And people come to me constantly, oh, but we've got a problem with our payments. No, you're creating your own problems. If you are going to be successful and a multi-million dollar euro act, then you're going to have to act like one. Otherwise, forget it. Then you've got to be with the plebs down there. You decide what you want. It's the energy that you give out that's going to come back to you. So let's talk about this and let's put this into perspective. If a client phones me, then I say, these are my conditions. And I don't have 3 pages of it. I know people that have these long contracts. Keep it simple. You want it as easy as possible. First of all, if you want to confirm a booking with me, it is a 50% deposit. It is a non-refundable 50% deposit. That's it. You don't get your money back if you cancel. And I don't say that in a nasty way. Corporates, the MD is playing golf, he's changing the date, he's got to pick up his kids, whatever. They will change the date on you 20 times and you've lost bookings all along. It doesn't work like that. This is the date, that's it. If it's an old client, I know them, I'll allow 1 change, but no more than that. But bottom line, 50% deposit, which is non-refundable. The remainder of the money that has to be paid before your arrival at the event, that is non-refundable if the event, function, conference is cancelled 2 weeks prior. You can still in 2 weeks maybe get something. I think in all fairness, one should have that in the clause at least. So if it's cancelled within 2 weeks before the event, then it's non-refundable, but anything before that, then it is refundable if they have paid it up front. Whether you fill that auditorium or not is not my problem. You booked me. That's the first thing that goes on my invoice contract, and it's an invoice contract all in one. Then 50% deposit, and it says there non-refundable within 7 days of making the inquiry and confirming. Well, they make the inquiry and then they phone back and confirm. Within 7 days, that deposit must be paid. Should someone else phone me and inquire for the same date, I say to them, listen, someone else has confirmed they haven't paid yet. Then I phone the other one and say, both of you, you both want it. Whoever pays first gets it. That's it. Time is money. You need to understand this. Now, once they've paid, the remainder of the payment is due before the function starts. So we come back to the theatre cinema scenario. You don't pay me afterwards, you pay me before the function starts. If the day of the money is not in the bank, I phone and I go, listen, it's not there. I take it you've cancelled. Then they go, no, but I say, I don't care about your policies. It's amazing how fast even government organizations can have the money in your bank. It's incredible when you say I'm not pitching anymore. You just have to stand fast. Otherwise, they will take you for a ride. You are supposed to be the pro here. You need to really think about this seriously. They pay before you arrive. If there are flights involved, which are included, those things must all have been paid a long time up front. Clients also love to make you come for rehearsals. Now, just because they don't know what they're doing doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. Remember, do it 100 times before you charge with it. I know what I'm doing. In my terms and conditions on the contract, it says this does not include rehearsal times. So if the MD or the sales director wants you to be there because they don't know what they're doing, then with pleasure, but you're paying the full daily rate, per hour, per day, per half day, whatever. A lot of times, the people won't sign the invoice contract because my invoice contract, one document, which once you get it, you sign it. For some other reason, people don't want to do that. So I've got in writing, you have to look at the country that you live in, that says payment or deposit, any payments of this invoice are an acceptance of the terms and conditions herein. That's it. End of story. That's an acceptance of it. I've got one or two other smaller comments that I put in, which says if there are more than 60 delegates, because I have a strong voice, then they need to supply the microphone. I do not come with a microphone. Why must I fly with all that? If you're appearing at a convention or big function, they should have their own sound equipment there anyway. Now I must come and plug stuff in? Not interested. And then if I'm overnighting, I want a bottle of mineral water because I'm not prepared to pay for the mineral water. And included must be all your transfers, all the flights, all the accommodation. That's it. They are inconveniencing you if it's away from home. But I am in awe at how many people are actually struggling to get money out of clients in debt. Once you've done the thing, they don't care. You have to get your money up front. If I can leave you with anything, that's it. Another super tip. How do you get your invoice processed quickly? Wonderful way to do this is that you got to make it colorful. Think about it. You're working for a big blue chip company. The accounts department gets thousands of invoices in every day. They're all on pink or green paper. They all look the bloody same. Here one comes in, there's got a cartoon on it. There's got something whacked out, completely funny on it. You think they're going to notice it? It's going to stand out. This monotony of what these auditors and financial people and clerks are going to this and go, ha ha, you make them laugh. Guess what? They're going to remember your invoice and they're going to laugh at your invoice. So should you have a payment problem, imagine you phoning the accounts department, I'm the guy with the funny invoice. Oh yeah, Wolfgang. Immediately they know who you are. Also because it's funnier, they're going to take note of it more. Odds are it's going to be paid quicker than other invoices. I have never had a payment problem, because my rules are 50% upfront, 50% before I appear, and my invoices are colorful and funny. It's really as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. If you can work those rules in, you will always be paid and you will have your money. I'm often asked, how do you get the fee that you want? You ask for it. That is my fee. Never hesitate when people ask you the fee, because that shows unprofessionalism. You want the high fees, be confident, say, that's my fee. If you don't hear a shock on the other end, you can go, that's for the basic package, the bronze. If you want the silver, then it includes this and of course the gold. Believe me, that does work at times, but you've got to listen to what they're saying. And if you do that, most people would rather go for the average, the silver, than for the cheaper one or the more expensive one. So it's always good to work out a fee structure where you've got bronze, silver and gold, like the loyalty programs that banks, shops, airlines have. Very nice idea to try and include that. If somebody does phone me and says, oh, that's too expensive, and what you actually get people that say, can you recommend someone that's cheaper than you? I'm like, okay. I give them a number. They usually phone back after about 3 minutes and say, you gave us the number of the zoo. Depending on how much they've annoyed you, you can always go, well, if you're prepared to pay peanuts, then you'll get monkeys. A friend of mine gave me that advice a long time ago. It's really cheeky, and it's not something I would really use. But I have done it once before because I've had a really annoying person on the other side that's like really been condescending and blatantly rude on the phone. Then you know what? I'm not a big corporation. I only answer to myself. I don't want to work with you if like that, then screw you. And that's the answer you're going to get. But if you want to be a successful $1 million performer, speaker, act, you have to have that confidence. It is the confidence and this energy that you give out, even over the phone, that makes the people hear and realize, but this person knows what they're talking about. I can trust them, and yes, they are worth the money. It's all about that energy that you put out there. And a lot of people say when you do a deal on the phone, when somebody does inquire, always stand up, because you're more emotional and more impactful when you're standing and speaking than when you're sitting and speaking. Something to think about. Well, that's about it. Those are some basic tips on payments and invoicing. And now we're going to move over to bureaus and agents.